back to Let's Play Crystalis. In the last part, we got the Thunder Sword and got our next mission to come here to Goa, not Swan. Sorry about that, I was wrong in the last part. And now I'm gonna continue on. Now, note, I did buy these 6 or so magic rings I wanted to off-screen, and I also got myself to level 13, and halfway to level 14 even, just to keep myself a bit safe on levels. And like in the last area, you need to use the barrier to get past the magical footballs, and get our path blocked. And apparently Shyren's under attack. Oh, great. Oh, great, everyone's dying, too. Let's just say there was a reason that the music in Shyren was depressing. Because everyone dies. Well, not everyone, but most of the people. Including Akahana. But keep in mind what he's saying right here about leaving an item with a friend in Goa for later. That's gonna come in real handy. Oh, and Stom's dead as well. He's talking about Motto, who's the next boss, who's up in the temple to the north, actually. I recommend having the Ice Sword, Refresh, and the Blizzard Bracelet on, along with the projectile Shield Ring. Because Motto is the third of Draygonia's best, and he's weak to it. He likes to bounce around the screen and such, and will stop bouncing every now and then to fire projectiles at you. As long as you spam the level 3 Blizzard attack, he's no problem at all, honestly. It actually kind of reminds me of, what's it called? Armored Armadillo from Mega Man X1. And apparently Messiah and the other wise men are actually in Draygonia Castle, so we have to go there. Thankfully, though, for beating him, we get the Ball of Thunder, which is, necessary to get into the castle. But before we head over to the castle, I'm actually here outside of Swan to head in, heading into this desert area here. You have to come here eventually, but I'm doing things slightly out of order to get 2 very useful items. Anyway, this is the Thunder Sword. It's actually, I think, the most powerful sword in the game. It definitely has my favorite level 1 charge. Its level 2 isn't that impressive, though it can still hit multiple times. It's just not as focused as the other one. Keep an eye out for this area later, because we might be returning here. Now, the entire thing with this area is that it is entirely around rivers and very maze-like. And there's also 2 key items here. Technically 3, but I'm only getting 2 right now, because I can only get 2. I recommend coming here now instead of later, because the items are just that useful, especially the second one we're getting. But, yeah. Over here we got the first item, which is a leather boots. What the leather boots are is that they're essentially the rabbit boots, only you can't jump. But what they actually do is they prevent you from taking damage from floor hazards like spikes, lava, etc., etc. Even the hot desert sand outside, that'll damage you. Now, these flies here are very annoying because they paralyze you very easily. However, they also give a good amount of experience points. In fact, it's around this point that level grinding isn't that helpful. I'm still going to do some probably at the end of next part through very scorpion-like enemies, but beyond that, meh. You know, I wouldn't have a problem with these cave areas if this place didn't look so samey. In fact, that's one of the reasons I kind of want this game to get another remake of sorts. Even if it's just like an HD remake, just to make the areas a bit more samey. Not as samey, rather. Because, I refuse to acknowledge the existence of the Game Boy Color version, because, ugh, what they did to it was just not very good. Also, you're gonna see me freezing a couple of areas uselessly because I never cross them. One thing you also might see me doing quite a bit in these next couple areas is pausing momentarily. Like I don't know where I'm going. That's because I'm actually looking at my notes, which are not on my actual screen. They're down on my lap in a notepad, so yeah. Because these next couple areas are very large and maze-like. Like, that brief moment there cut was me getting lost for about 3 minutes. Anyway, and here's the last item we want to get in here for now. And it's also here that we learn that the Thunderball is necessary because we can destroy those statues now. But for coming here, we get the Power Ring, which is honestly one of the best accessories in the game. What it does is that it adds your level to your attack stat, so now I have 34 attack. This is great for boss fights. And speaking of boss fights, it's time for us to go head after the guys who wrecked Shiren. We're heading over to Goa Castle, which is actually the Dragonian Empire capital. So yeah. Also, one thing I realized in between parts is this lady right here. This line, it would make a lot more sense if there was a question mark at the end of the first sentence. Maybe that was just a translation error. I wouldn't be surprised considering the era. So yeah, now that we have the Thunderball, we can break this thing down. Which makes me wonder why Mado dropped it if it allowed us to storm their castle. Anyway, the Draygonian castle here is long and... well, actually, it's not that hard. It's just really long and maze-like. Most of the enemies in this area are really simple, though. You only really got these knights here, which are like evolved Draygonian knights. Orange Draygonia Knights, anyway. And these weird little demon bat things, which I think attack you with lasers? Or maybe they just fly around you. Yeah, they just fly around you. The Thunder Sword is the way to go for the first floor, though every floor will get a different elemental affinity somewhat. But the thing is, though, this area is why I grinded to level 13, because there's multiple bosses in here, and for the first three... no, the first two you need to be level 13, and the second two you need to be level 14 to even damage them. Though I think with the attack ring, that might, the power ring, that might change the level requirement, but I'm not entirely sure about that. I will say, this area kind of reminds me of an area in Final Fantasy 1 and 3, was it? Yeah, it was, because Final Fantasy 1 had castle ordeals, and Final Fantasy 3 had that abandoned castle in the early half of the game. I don't know why it reminds me of those two areas, but it does. Anyway, I'm getting the Wind Sword out for one reason only. The bosses in this area are the 4 knights, starting off with Kelbesk. I recommend getting their elemental weakness out and the barrier spell along with the power ring, because the barrier spell protects you from other attacks. And especially when it's an attack that hits as many times as Kelbesk's new little laser, you're gonna want that. Level 3 charges are the way to go against them. Don't worry about the MP. There's a way to restore your MP without even using items in this area. So yeah. Also, I like how they explode upon death like it's Super Metroid. And for beating him, we get an opal statue, misspelled as Opel. That's an item that is pretty much a talisman from, well, first off, Zebu's here. The 4 wise men that are still alive are around here, and upon talking to them, they will restore your health and MP. And Zebu acts as a save point as well. The opal statue, anyway, as I was saying before, acts pretty much as a talisman from Onimusha, or your basic revive item upon death. When you lose all your HP, it restores some, if not all of it. I wouldn't know, I've actually never had to use them. Because my inventory is better filled with magic rings. Anyway, this area, for once again, you are able to freeze lava. I still don't know how that works. Even then, if you freeze lava, it wouldn't become ice, it'd become rock. Still rather hot rock, considering the fact that it's still surrounded by lava. There's only one item I recommend in this area you get, which is these Fruit of Rupins. They are the only way of curing a certain status ailment that the final boss in this area can inflict on you, so be careful about them. And make sure you have at least 1 to 2. Mind you, if you know how to use the barrier spell, you will hopefully not get hit by the attack that will do it anyway. But we'll get more into what that status does in the next part. I recommend getting the Sword of Fire out along with Barrier and the Power Ring for the upcoming boss, just because it's the best way to go about her. But, yeah, there's surprisingly no enemies in this area, aside from one at the very end. And I don't know why that is. Maybe they just didn't spawn for me, I don't know. Also, for some reason, only some of these little statue walls will shoot you, and the others might not. Well, or more accurately, some do, some don't. I don't get that. Anyway, charge up level 3 fire, go upstairs. And it's time to refight Sabera. She pretty much is the exact same before. She likes to shoot projectiles and such. However, with the level 3 power ring and fire, you kill her in one shot. That is always satisfying to do. And for some reason, the chest won't open for me. I don't know what's happening here. You need to pick up the item, too, which is pretty annoying. Fruit of Rupin. That's actually surprisingly useful for the areas coming up. And it's Tornell. He acts as another heal, but I think the only one that counts as a save point out of all the wise men you rescue here is Zebu. I'm not sure about all the others. But with that, I'm going to need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in Part 9, we shall continue going through the Draygonian castle, I suppose, and see if we can rescue the other two wise men in the process. See you guys then.